Welcome to Simplifying STEAM. Understanding the science of our warming world. Climate change is one of the most pressing issues facing our planet today. But what exactly is it, and how does it affect us? To understand climate change, we need to first understand the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is a natural process that keeps our planet warm enough to sustain life. It works like this. The sun's energy enters the Earth's atmosphere and some of it is reflected back into space. But some of it gets trapped by gases in the atmosphere, like carbon dioxide and methane. This trapped energy warms up the Earth, making it habitable for us and other living things. But since the Industrial Revolution, humans have been releasing more and more of these greenhouse gases into the atmosphere through activities like burning fossil fuels and deforestation. This has led to an increase in global temperatures, a process known as climate change. Climate change has far-reaching consequences, from melting ice caps and rising sea levels to more extreme weather events like hurricanes and droughts. And it's not just the environment that's affected, it also has social and economic impacts on communities around the world. But there's hope. By taking action to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions and transition to cleaner, renewable energy sources, we can mitigate the worst effects of climate change. The greenhouse effect and climate change. As we explained earlier, the greenhouse effect is a natural process that keeps the Earth warm enough to support life. But when we release too many greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, they trap too much heat, causing the planet to warm up at an alarming rate. Carbon dioxide, CO2, is the most important greenhouse gas, and the primary culprit behind climate change. The concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere has increased dramatically since the Industrial Revolution, mostly due to burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. When we burn fossil fuels, we release CO2 and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat from the sun that would normally be radiated back into space, leading to a gradual increase in global temperatures. Deforestation is another major contributor to climate change. Trees absorb CO2 as part of the process of photosynthesis. But when we cut down forests, we remove a natural sink for CO2, leading to even more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The consequences of climate change are wide-ranging and severe, from rising sea levels and increased frequency of heat waves to more intense hurricanes and wildfires. By reducing our greenhouse gas emissions and transitioning to cleaner, renewable energy sources like wind and solar power, we can slow down the rate of global warming and prevent the worst effects of climate change. The Earth's oceans play a critical role in regulating the planet's climate. But they're also one of the most vulnerable and heavily impacted by climate change. The oceans absorb about 25% of the carbon dioxide that we release into the atmosphere. This helps to slow down the rate of global warming, but it also makes the oceans more acidic, which can be devastating for marine life like coral reefs. The oceans also help to distribute heat around the planet through a system of currents. But as the Earth warms up, these currents are changing, leading to more extreme weather events like hurricanes and droughts. One of the most visible impacts of climate change on the oceans is the melting of sea ice in the Arctic. This not only contributes to rising sea levels but also has consequences for Arctic wildlife like polar bears and seals. Climate change also has significant impacts on the fishing industry. As ocean temperatures change and the acidity of the water increases, many fish species are migrating to new areas, making it harder for fishermen to find and catch them. By reducing our greenhouse gas emissions and investing in clean, renewable energy sources like wind and wave power, we can help to mitigate the impacts of climate change on the oceans and protect marine life. The world's forests are vital to the health of the planet. They absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and release oxygen, making them a critical part of the global carbon cycle. But they're also under threat from climate change. As the Earth's temperatures rise, forests are becoming more vulnerable to wildfires. Higher temperatures and droughts can also make forests more susceptible to pests and disease. But it's not just climate change that's impacting forests. Deforestation is also a major contributor to global warming. When we cut down forests, we not only lose a valuable carbon sink, but we also release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. The loss of forests also disrupts the carbon cycle, making it harder for the Earth to regulate its climate. This can lead to more extreme weather events like floods and droughts. By protecting and restoring forests, we can help to mitigate the impacts of climate change. Reforestation projects can also help to create new habitats for wildlife and improve the quality of the air we breathe. Sustainable farming practices can also play a role in protecting forests. By using techniques like agroforestry, where crops are grown in a forest-like environment, farmers can reduce their impact on the environment and help to promote biodiversity. More than half of the world's population lives in cities, and they're on the front lines of the impacts of climate change. Extreme weather events like heat waves, floods, and storms are becoming more frequent and intense in urban areas due to climate change. Cities also contribute significantly to global warming through air pollution. The burning of fossil fuels for transportation and energy production releases carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, contributing to the warming of the planet. But there are ways we can make cities more resilient and sustainable. Green infrastructure, like green roofs and walls, can help to absorb rainwater and reduce the urban heat island effect, where cities are hotter than surrounding rural areas. Investing in public transportation and active transportation, like walking and biking, can also help to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from transportation. And renewable energy sources like solar and wind power can be integrated into urban areas, providing clean energy and reducing dependence on fossil fuels. Community gardens and urban agriculture can also help to reduce the carbon footprint of cities and promote biodiversity. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue, it's also a major threat to human health. Rising temperatures and air pollution can worsen respiratory illnesses like asthma, while extreme weather events can lead to injuries and stress. Changes in temperature and precipitation patterns can also create favorable conditions for disease-carrying pests like mosquitoes, increasing the risk of diseases like dengue fever and malaria. Heat waves can also cause heat stroke and dehydration, particularly in vulnerable populations like the elderly and young children. But there are ways we can protect ourselves and our communities. Planting trees and creating green spaces can help to reduce the urban heat island effect and improve air quality. Active transportation, like biking or walking, can reduce air pollution and improve cardiovascular health. Eating a healthy, plant-based diet and reducing food waste can also help to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve overall health. The world's oceans play a critical role in regulating the Earth's climate, but they're also feeling the impacts of climate change. Rising temperatures and ocean acidification are causing widespread coral bleaching and damaging marine ecosystems. The increase in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is also leading to the absorption of more carbon dioxide in the ocean, making it more acidic and threatening the survival of many species. Overfishing and destructive fishing practices are also contributing to the decline of marine ecosystems and their ability to cope with climate change. But there are ways we can protect our oceans and help them to thrive. Renewable energy sources like offshore wind turbines can provide clean energy while reducing the need for fossil fuels. Reducing plastic pollution and marine litter can also help to protect marine ecosystems and the health of ocean animals. Establishing marine protected areas and sustainable fishing practices can help to restore and protect marine biodiversity. Addressing climate change requires action from everyone, including businesses and governments. Large corporations and industries are responsible for a significant portion of greenhouse gas emissions, but they also have the resources and technology to make meaningful changes. Many companies are investing in renewable energy sources like wind and solar power, and implementing sustainable practices in their operations. At the same time, citizens are calling for governments to take action to address climate change through policy and regulation. Governments can incentivize the transition to renewable energy sources, establish emission standards for businesses and industries, and support research and development of clean technologies. But individuals can also make a difference. By reducing our own carbon footprint through lifestyle choices and advocating for change, we can help to create a more sustainable future. Renewable energy sources like solar and wind power are becoming more affordable and accessible, and electric vehicles are becoming more mainstream. Climate change affects us all, and everyone has a role to play in addressing it. Community action is an important part of the solution, and there are many ways that individuals can make a difference in their own communities. Choosing sustainable modes of transportation like biking or public transit can reduce our carbon footprint and promote cleaner air. Supporting local and sustainable agriculture can also help to reduce emissions from transportation and promote more resilient food systems. Investing in renewable energy sources like solar power can not only reduce our own carbon footprint but also contribute to a more sustainable energy system for everyone. Participating in community cleanup events can help to reduce plastic pollution and promote a cleaner environment for all. Improving the energy efficiency of our homes can also reduce our carbon footprint and save us money on energy bills. There are countless ways that individuals can make a difference in their own communities, and by working together, we can create a more sustainable future for everyone. Climate change is one of the greatest challenges of our time, and we all have a role to play in addressing it. There are many ways that you can get involved and make a difference, no matter where you live or what your interests are. Participating in protests, strikes, and other forms of activism can help to raise awareness and pressure governments and businesses to take action on climate change. Volunteering for environmental organizations can also help to make a difference, whether it's through tree planting, beach cleanups, or other projects. Having conversations with friends and family about climate change and what we can do to address it can also help to raise awareness and inspire action. Making small changes in our own lives, like using public transportation, reducing meat consumption, or buying less plastic, can also add up to make a big difference. No matter how big or small, every action we take to address climate change can make a difference. So don't be afraid to get involved and take action today. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Hope we inspired you through this video to act. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content on science and technology. Until next time, keep exploring.